Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. I'm still Unisex Taylor. Today we are going to make a male pants, the cutting and the sewing. But for now, let's concentrate on the cutting. So thanks as you watch. Okay, remember we are cutting a male pant. The folding is already folded into two, and I folded it according to the lapse measurement. My lapse measurement that I'm using is 25, and 25 divided by 2 is 12 and a half. So the folding is into 12 and a half plus some inches just in case. So because it's going to have a band, I'm going to, all my measurements I will subtract 1.5. The band is going to be 1.5 because it's sewing allowance. Then I'm taking the length of my trousers is 37 and a half. You take the length, that this is the waist point, then 37 and a half plus 2 inches sewing allowance, 2 inches folding allowance at the hem, which is going to be 40 and a half. Okay, it's going to be 39 and a half. You still take it towards this side, 37 and a half, then 39 and a half. You roll it straight. Okay, so this is the length. Remember to always place your tape, leaving your 1.5 inch for the band. So this is the length of my trousers, and then this is the sewing, the folding allowance at the hem. Sorry. So the next thing is the crotch depth. How I get my crotch depth is I divide my hip measurement by 4, and my hip measurement is 39. Then 39 into 2. This is my 39 into 2. Then after the first division, you divide it again. That is into 4 now. And I have 9 of water. That is my depth, my crotch depth. Then remember to leave your 1.5 here. Then you mark it. Take it to this side. Mark it again. Then use your ruler and roll it. This is my crotch depth. So how to get your hip measurement? Most times I don't add the hip, but to be on a safer side, you can add it 2 inches above your clutch depth is your hip measurement. 2 inches above your clutch depth. Yeah. So sometimes it's a male cloth. If the person wants it tight, you can use this clutch depth. But if the person wants it a bit loose, you can go down by 1 inch. That is the hip divided by 4, which is your clutch depth, plus 1 inch for ease allowance. Some guys like it tight, you can leave it this way. But if it's something that is not gonna be fitted, then you add 1 inch, okay? Because this trouser is not going to be that fitted. There should be some ease. But if it is a female pant, you can use this. You can use this line. But since we are not making a female pant, it's a male pant, and it's not gonna be fitted, we are using this. So this line is not included. So the next thing we are going to draw, these are the vertical axis. The next thing we are going to draw is the knee measurement. And how do I get my knee measurement? My knee measurement is my length divided by 2. The length of my pants is 37 and a half. Then 37 and a half divided by 2 is my knee measurement. and 37.5 divided by 2 is 18 or quarter. It's not up to 19. So remember to always take out your 1.5 for the band. So this is where I'll mark. This is the knee line. The knee line. And you roll it straight. Sorry. You roll it straight. Okay. Then this, we are done with the vertical axis. Now we are going to put the horizontal measurement. Coming to the waist measurement I'm working with is 34. 34 divided into 2 is 17. Then you divide again into 4 is 8.5. Okay, so in this case, because our body is not straight, this is the waist measurement, you will take in 1 inch here, then you mark your waist, which is 8.5, plus 1 inch for the sewing allowance, or it can also act as the dart at the back. Then this is the crotch line. Remember, you're not using this is what we are using. If it is a female pant, you can use this line, but since it's a male, we put 1 inch as is allowance, so we are using this. So our lapse is 25. 25 divided by 2 is 12.5. This 12.5. The whole sewing allowance will be at the back. I don't normally put sewing allowance on my front panel. All the sewing allowance will be at the back, except the waist, which I put 1 inch. The 1 inch will also serve as a dart allowance. Okay, then my knee measurement, the knee is 16. 16 divided by 2 will give me 8. So before then, you come in by 1.5 here. You come in by, or not up to 1.5. Just come in here. Then the waist, sorry, you can come in by half because it's a male. But if your clients have hip, there are some guys that have hip, you can come in by 1 inch. But if it's just normal straight body, somehow the hip is not hippy, you can use ½ inch. You can use ½ inch. So I'm using 1 because my client is a bit hippy. So here you come in by 1.5 inch, or not up to 1.5, 1.25 inch. Then the next is to take my knee measurement, which is 16 divided by 2 is 8. Then 8. Then my ankle measurement, my ankle is 11. 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. Is 5.5. So I place it. Then when you reach here, you can come in, go in by 1 inch. Then take your 5.5. Okay. So in order to get my, you measure here. The whole of here is 10.5. Okay. So you can now take the same 10.5 here, or you put 11 because here is 10.5. Then you use 11 here. Okay. Then draw a straight line joining from here, from the waist to the crotch line. Then this is the hip measurement. Okay, because we are not using this line again, it's going to be 2 inches. This is where our 2 inches. Remember, the hip measurement is 2 inches from the crotch depth. If you are sewing for a male, that's when we are using this line. It will be 2 inches here. But because you are sewing for a female, it's from here to here, which is 2 inches. Then you curve it. can join here. Still use your hand to sharpen it, slant it. Then here, join it. And then here, you don't do it straight because by the time you fold it, it might be shorter. So you slant it a bit. Then slant it a bit. Then this joining here, at the hip, you join to the hip. This is our hip measurement. You join it straight. You can use your ruler or use a free hand, anyone. You join it straight to the hip, and from the hip you connect it. So this is the front panel. Then this waist measurement, we are going to slant it. The slanting should just be 1 inch. Mark 1 inch here. Slant by 1 inch. Okay, so this is our drawing for the front panel. I hope you understand. Remember, this is the waist measurement, and here is the hip measurement, which is 2 inches from the neck, from the clutch depth up. And this is the clutch measurement. This is the knee, and then this is our ankle measurement, which is the hemline, the folding allowance. The waist is the waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch allowance. While the clutch is the lapse measurement divided by 2, no allowance. Then you curve from there to the hip. You can as well measure the hip. The hip is 39. Okay, you say 39 divided by 4. That is, divide it first by 2. Then take it again, divide it again. It's 9 1/4. So if you are to measure it, it's 9 1/4 here. Yes. So depending on how you want it, you don't need to curve it much. You just leave it like that. Then the knee is the knee divided by 2. Why this is also divided by 2. You divide the knee and the ankle by 2, whereas other measurements are divided by 4. So this is our front panel for now. I hope you understand. Yeah. Okay, so it's time to cut. Okay, so this is the front panel. The next is to place it on another back panel. The folding is just the front plus extra 4, or let me say 4 inches. Okay, let's place the front first. The front panel placed on the fabric that we're going to use and cut the back panel. Okay, so first of all, the back panel is always higher than the front panel at the waist, and also bigger at the sides. There is no added allowance here. It's just this side is where we are going to add all our allowances. Okay, so here you go in by 2 inches depending on the person's hip. The person is hippy, you add 2 1/2. Okay, go in by 2 inches. Then here you also go in by 2 or 2 1/2 inch allowance. Okay, let's use 2 1/2 inches allowance. Then connect here. You just have to connect here straight to the waist. Make sure it's equal at the hemline to avoid unnecessary drama. Okay, so here is straight. Then at the clutch you add 3. Remember, there was no allowance at the front. I didn't add any allowance at the front panel, so it's at the back panel that I'm going to add all my sewing allowance. So at the crotch depth you add 3.5 inch here. Most times I don't draw the line exactly at the crotch. I go down by 1/2 inch. Go down by 1/2 inch and then do a straight line. Why 1/2 inch? Because if you draw it straight here, by the time you fold it here, it will not be exactly the same. It will not be exactly at the same line. When you fold it to sew, when you are sewing it, because it will be like this, before you get here it will shorten. You will notice that it's shortened. So it's always good you come down by 1/2 inch. I've been using this and it has been helpful. If I come down by 1/2 inch and take my clutch measurement, when I'm sewing, I sew and it will rhyme. They will be the same. Front and back will be the same. No one will be shortened. No one will be higher than the other. So go down by 1/2 inch and take my 3.5 inches. Remember, 3.5 at the crotch depth. Then here you take your 3 inches. As you are going down, take 2 inches here or 2.5 inch here. Then here at the hemline, take 1.5 inch. Remember, 3.5 here, 3 inches here, 2.5 inch, and then 1.5. Then you connect. You can use a free hand or you use your ruler, then slant it down to the 1.5 inches. Then here you take your curve. As you are coming down, curve it. Remember, here is 3.5. Always make sure, because I didn't add any allowance at the front, so I need to add enough allowance here so that the crotch can sit. Curve it. Curve it. Okay, so this is all we have for the back panel. The back panel is just to add the allowance for the sewing and then add here, add 2 inches allowance, then go it straight to the waist. Also add 2.5 or 2 inches allowance here. Remember, it's shifted, sorry, so you just make sure that there is no shifting and then recheck your measurements once again. This is all we have for male pants or male trouser. So this is the front panel and this is the back panel. The difference is there. It's just the allowance at the side and up here. So thank you for watching. In our next video we will be showing you how to couple this trouser, to couple it together. So thanks for watching, and do wait to like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.